Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Monday evening, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. As you can tell by the title of tonight's video, we're going to be talking about a slow end to the sport we love. Good evening, Keveron. Glad to have you here. As always, so we'll talk about that coming up here in a few minutes. And if you heard the news that came out of Lubbock, Texas today, I'm sure you know where the main topic will be about and what it'll be about. But first, let's discuss some other things in the world of sports. Good evening, Okie Light. Glad to have you here. And you picked a good night to return, Okie, because we're going to be talking about me starts to slow end. Love, it's been going downhill with the portal, NIL. But after today, it's gone. But let's first discuss other things in the world of sports. Tonight we have Game 3 between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Looks like the Knicks are going to win their first title since 1973. It's not official yet. You know, it's the best of 7. They're only up, 2 games to none. But they won the first 2 games in San Antonio. I think they win at least 1 in New York. If they're up 3 games to 1, I don't see the Spurs winning 3 in a row. I could be wrong, but I don't think they will. So to me, if the Spurs have any chance of coming back, they need to win both these games in New York. College World Series now, it's slowly starting to build a fan base in the world of college baseball. We had 2 more series that had to finish up today because they were suspended yesterday. But, the College World Series is actually 8 teams. People think World Series, you think 2 teams, but the College World Series is actually 8 teams. Georgia's the favorite now, but I'm pulling for Troy or West Virginia only because that's 2 teams that have never done anything, not just in college baseball, but, in college athletics in general. So I would love to see one of those 2 teams sneak up and win it. Now, the chances of that happening are 0 in a million, but I'd love to see it. When I ain't got a dog in the fight, I always enjoy seeing the underdogs win. And Troy and West Virginia are definitely the underdogs. Oh, you never know. I still say that winning a series in baseball is the hardest thing to do in college athletics. But, this year, Georgia's the favorite because most of the college baseball powerhouses are out. UCLA's always good, they're out. Florida State is always good, they're out. Georgia Tech looked like the team to beat, and they got put out in the opening weekend, so they're out. Miami's out. Florida's out. So most of the teams, LSU didn't even make it. Vanderbilt didn't make it. So most of the teams that you see, come down to the wire in college baseball aren't in it. I guess the only one that's still in it that's always a powerhouse is North Carolina. They seem to go to the World Series every year, but never, ever win it. And they lost game 1 to USC, had to come back and win games 2 and 3. Texas used to have a really, and then for a few years, Texas was in a funk. They look like they're slowly returning. North Carolina's there every year. That's the thing about West Virginia, Okie Light, is that they did get hot at the right time, and sometimes that's all that matters. Now, a lot of folks think their coach is leaving to go to South Carolina, and that'll happen as soon as the Mountaineers either win the whole thing or get put out. But I've been hearing this guy's name going to Columbia ever since they actually fired their interim coach. But it seems like it's just rumors and there's no actual legitimate talk to it. But years ago, you could easily see somebody leaving West Virginia to go to South Carolina in baseball, because South Carolina, World Series and played for third and lost to Arizona. Then they've been on a slow decline. So I don't necessarily know if it's the right decision now to leave Morgantown to go to Columbia. But 10, 12 years ago, I could see it. Now, I'm not so sure. And in the world of NASCAR, yesterday we had the Firekeepers Casino 400 from Michigan. Denny Hamlin picked up the win. He's now won back-to-back races, followed by Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, and Chase Briscoe rounded out the top 10. This week we have the Great American Getaway 400 from Pocono Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And hey there, I'm going to hope that's Yasser. If I said that wrong, I apologize, but glad to have you here. This is your first time being here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you'll get notified whenever I go live, and tell your friends, tell your family about the channel. And make sure you share the video on all social media platforms. Let everybody you know see this beautiful face on the other side of your computer screen or phone screen, TV screen, ever how you might be watching on this Monday evening. And the Braves right now are the best team in baseball so far, not close. Now we know it means nothing in October, but they're 24 games above 500 at 45 and 21. Got a 9.5 game lead in the division. They better be glad they're playing good, because ever since the Phillies fired Rob Thompson, they've played a lot better. But the Braves are off to such a good start. If they played 500 ball the rest of the year and went 48 and 48, they'd still win 93 games, and that might still be good enough to win that division. But with the start they're off to, if they finish 93 wins, there's going to be some upset fans. But at the same time, if they keep playing the way they're playing now, they're going to win 110 games in a regular season, 111 games, somewhere along in there. And if you win that many games and you don't win the World Series, you're going to have some upset fans. So either way, fans are going to be upset. But it's definitely a shock to see the Braves playing like this when everybody questioned their rotation when the year started, because Spencer Schwellenbach is still out, Hurston Waldrop is still out, A.J. Smith-Shawver is still out. And then you had to move Lopez to the bullpen because he was struggling so bad. And you're playing like this. And I honestly think that the Jurickson Profar suspension was the best thing for the Braves, because guys like Mauricio Dubon and guys like Mateo and guys like Dominic Smith are only seeing the playing time they're seeing because Profar suspended. Otherwise, you'd pretty much have Profar every day in left, Harris every day in center, and Acuna every day in right. And the guys like Dubon and Smith that are playing so good, couldn't be productive because they wouldn't be playing. So honestly, I think the Jurickson Profar suspension was the best thing to happen to the Braves. Hey there, Brenda. Glad to have you here. Brenda, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by the channel on this Monday evening. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family about the channel. Make sure you click that bell so you'll get notified whenever I go live. But now for tonight's main topic. Earlier today in Lubbock, Texas, a judge decided that Brendan Sorsby deserves to play. You went to a Braves game when Chipper Jones was still playing. Well, that's been a while. The very first game I went to, Chipper Jones was playing. But the last game I went to was 20. I remember that because the Braves won the World Series in 2021. And then in 2022, the Dodgers came to Atlanta. I think it was in June, if I'm not mistaken. And Freddie Freeman got his World Series ring because he left the Braves to go to the Dodgers. after the 21 season, and I have not been to a game since then. But I love the ballpark they play in now. But earlier today, a judge decided that Brendan Sorsby deserves to play. And to me, this pretty much signifies the end of college football. It's been on a downward trajectory for about 3 years now with the whole transfer portal NIL stuff, because it's not sustainable. And NIL was never meant to pay players millions and millions of dollars. It was meant to be, hey, if you got an autograph signing, you can have that money. Hey, if somebody buys your jersey, you can have that money. Hey, if somebody plays a video game and they play you as their character, you can have that money. It was never meant to pay players millions and millions of dollars. Hey there, Mike. Glad to have you here, and I'm glad you told me that, Mike. It doesn't surprise me because my internet never tells me when it's going down, so I don't know. But there's some bad weather where I am tonight, and usually when you have bad weather, it happens. But when you have bad weather, if your TV's on, your TV will jump or go out, whatever, and signify, hey, bad service. But for some reason, when I do my YouTube videos, it doesn't tell me anything. It just records like everything is normal, unless it completely stops recording, and then it'll stop and start back. But outside of that, there's no warnings that, internet's, bad or botched or, none of that stuff. But it does not surprise Mike, but thank you for letting me know. But a judge decided Sorsby deserves to play, and I hate it because, I've been saying numerous times here on the channel that the NCAA can't make any rulings, because any ruling they make, all the players got to do is take them to court and sue them and win. So, they can't make any decisions. When they don't make decisions, folks get mad. But when they make decisions, they get overturned. But the one decision they've always been able to stick by is, no exceptions, no excuses. You cannot bet on anything, especially the team you're playing on. And Sorsby did that numerous times, admitted he done it, and now he's playing. See, the thing is, Brendan Sorsby's people put him in rehab, and all they had to do was claim he's got a mental health disorder. So that's why he was cleared to play. He does not have no mental health disorder. He's got a betting problem. That is not a mental health issue. It's a stupidity issue. I've always said I don't bet, and the reason why I don't bet is because the house always wins. If the house didn't always win, you wouldn't have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of places to bet, because they'd all go broke. So the fact that they're everywhere tells you the house always wins. And most people, if they win, they're not going to take their money and be satisfied. They're going to take the money they won and put it back in and bet and bet and bet until eventually they lose. And that's why the house always wins. So I don't bet. But if you choose to bet, that's not a mental health disorder. That's like grabbing a cigarette and deciding to smoke it and saying, I got a mental health disorder. No, you chose to smoke that cigarette. You chose to bet. It's not a mental health issue. You chose to bet. But nobody wants to take accountability. And that's why you see people all the time always claim mental health disorder, because you can claim that with anything and get by with it. You ain't got to apologize. You ain't got to say you're sorry. You ain't got to serve no time. Just, I got a mental health problem. And that's what Sorsby's people made him do. He did that, so now he's playing. But, it messes up the integrity of the game, because now when you watch college football, a quarterback could easily make a bet of $1 million that he's going to throw 2 picks in the game. And then if he goes out and throws 2 picks, did he throw 2 picks because he just made 2 bad throws? Or did he throw 2 picks because he's got $1 million on line that he would throw 2 picks? And when you start messing up the integrity of the game, you're going to start having people think that the game is rigged, and that messes up what college football is all about. So to me, this is the worst thing that could happen. But of course, a judge in Lubbock, Texas is going to do it because he wants him to play, because he's a Texas Tech fan. Now, does Sorsby make them better? Yes, but they're still not going to win the national championship with him. But if I was every team on their schedule, I would boycott and not play him. And I would say, hey, I'm not playing them. If we play them, how do we know it's a legit football game? And how do we know that, it's not going to be taken away from us later on because we played against a team that was illegal? I'm not playing them, and I wouldn't play them. And every team on their schedule should boycott them. And then Texas Tech, they might be 12-0, but they'll be 12-0 by forfeit, and you're not going to get any credit by being undefeated by forfeit because nobody knows how good or bad you are because you have not been on the field. So if I was every team on their schedule, I'd boycott and not play them. But I do think this is the end of college football as we know it, unless somebody steps in and, does something about this. Would you want to be on a team where your quarterback is known for gambling addiction? No, I would not. And to me, that's part of the problem to me, Okie Light, because, if Sorsby has a gambling addiction and now he can claim, oh, I got a mental problem, he can do it all he wants to. So when you go out there and play now, because the only person that Sorsby can bet on is himself. He don't know what anybody else can do. He can only bet on himself. So the rest of the team can be out there trying their hardest. But if he makes a $3 million bet that he's going to throw 3 picks, he's probably going to go out there and throw 3 picks. If you're his teammates, do you say, oh, no, he's had a bad day? Or do you say, wait a minute, he's trying to throw this game? Now, you'll have some players that have sense that say, you know what, I might have made that bet, but I'm going to recover that money in NIL. I'm going to make more than I lost with NIL. But you're going to have some like Sorsby that bets on everything that would rather get the money from betting than win the game. So if I'm his teammate, I wouldn't want to be on his team because I don't know if he's just having a bad day, a bad game, or is he intentionally trying to throw the game. And then you got to pick up his slack because he's out there either having a bad day naturally or having a bad day purposely. But as long as he's healthy, he's going to play because Will Hammond played some last year in Okie Light. I'm sure you know this. He's not very good. So unless Sorsby has games, he throws 4, 5, 6 picks, he'll be the quarterback because Will Hammond's terrible. But if I'm his teammate, I don't like it because I don't know how much is him just honestly having a bad day and how much is him just trying to make some extra cash. But if you go back and read the transcript of all the things that he used to bet on, I mean, he bet on stuff that you've never heard of. I mean, you could be a diehard sports fan, and this is stuff that you've never heard of. So it tells you he's got a bad gambling problem, not a mental health issue, a bad gambling problem. But now if you're other players in the league, why wouldn't you bet? If you're another quarterback or if you're a kicker, why wouldn't you bet? And then when the game's on the line, you go out there and your team drives the field and they got a chance to win, and you go out there, but you made a $2 million bet that you're going to miss a field goal. So you go out there, game on the line, and you miss a field goal, but you shank it on purpose. You didn't miss it because you made a mistake. You missed it because you want your $2 million you bet on. And why would you not bet? If Sorsby can do it, why can't you do it? So something's going to have to be done pretty doggone quick because between the portal, the NIL, and this, college football now is like a train off the tracks. I mean, there's no rules, no regulations. Anything you want to do, you can do. Nobody's going to stop you. If they do stop you, take them to court and sue them. So, I mean, it's a train rolling downhill off tracks, and it's rolling downhill pretty doggone quick, and it's sad to see. But I always knew if they ever let money get in college football, it's going to destroy it. And sure enough, they've let money get in college football, and it has absolutely destroyed it. Now, there's going to be tons and tons and tons of people that are going to get mad about this, and they're going to say, I'm no longer going to watch it again. And then come September, they're going to turn their TV on. But there will be some that's going to say that, and then in reality, come September, they're not going to watch. And those are the ones that we need because those are the ones that can be the change we need, because if the TV numbers drop drastically and go down drastically, then college football is going to say, wait a minute, we've got a problem. We just lost 5 million viewers in one off season. We've got to fix this. But if you only lose 1,000, well, you're going to gain them right back. So all the ones that say, I'm never going to watch again, but then they're going to turn around and watch come September, do you no good. But all the ones that say they're not going to watch and really truly don't watch, they could be the reason we see a change, because we're going to have to see one. They need to stop letting all these rulings go to some home team's court, because just like you saw with Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss, most of the time, if you take a local team and local player to a local judge, that judge is going to favor that local team, local player. So we need to take it not local, take it national, and let a whole panel see this stuff. Maybe that will fix it. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Police are looking for a thief who stole a cement truck. They have a few leads, but nothing concrete. Well, I know he was retired and a Houston grad, but Okie Light, either he completely, totally hates sports and doesn't care, or since it's a local team, he won't see them succeed. And I'm sure with him favoring Texas Tech and Salisbury, I'm sure he gets some money out of it. But until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3.